Welcome, everybody, to the AI Verse. And in this episode, this is the monthly roundup for April. So, this is the April roundup of all things artificial intelligence and metaverse. And in this particular episode, there's actually not too much to cover in the month of April. There wasn't too many updates, just things moving along as they generally have been for the last few months with AI for the last few years. But there are a few little interesting stories, so we'll get straight into it with the very first story being something that I'm particularly excited about. So AI can actually identify breast cancer missed by humans. So this is actually really quite profound. So a tool called Mia was piloted alongside NHS clinicians and analyzed the mammograms of over 10,000 women. And so it successfully identified tiny signs of breast cancer in 11 women, which human doctors had missed. So Barbara was one of those 11 patients whose cancer was identified by Mia, and it wasn't actually spotted in a scan. So the AI is outperforming human doctors, and this is actually nothing new. But in any case, this is something that's extremely exciting because it really opens up a whole new field of exploration in terms of the medical industry with artificial intelligence. It can really, really hone in on the accuracy of the medical industry. So this is something that's really, really quite profound. So this is only going to improve naturally as more and more data is inputted into the artificial intelligence database that's actually recording and storing the information that it's generating this data from. Okay, so AI solopreneur. So this is cool. So this for me has been one of the biggest moves this particular month. The month of April is basically how AI and music are starting to come together. So there has actually been, there was a lot of articles. I don't usually cover like the negative things, so I think they just get resolved. But there is a lot of articles that I did notice. Basically, artists, musicians are coming together to really try and protect their authenticity as artists and musicians. And this is something where they're trying to come after artificial intelligence companies, not come after them as such, but basically try and protect their creative integrity and their authenticity. Some of the biggest names being Beyonce, for example. So this is actually something that's really started to develop a lot this month, or last month rather, especially because now text to music is really starting to make headways. So let's go back into this and let's just check out this video. So this is 7 mind-bending examples. So we won't listen to the whole thing. So we'll just That is super cool. That is super cool that you could put Irvin and it has singing to it as well. That's awesome. Should put that as a language warning there, but I'll just leave it at that. But that is super. That's awesome, man. That's really, really cool. The fact that you can actually get it to sing and there's choirs, it's really like the world for a content creator is really starting to open up as artificial intelligence is really starting to make headways. And I never planned on being a content creator. It was not something that I had ambitions for, but it was always something that I had a basic interest in. And with the more and more tools that are being developed, it is actually getting more and more exciting to be a content creator. And I do believe in the future that content creators are going to be some of the only jobs that are actually around. This is actually something that has been studied in various books. This is also something that my meditation teacher says. So I really do believe the future is going to be one of basically just people creating content. And you can see that now. There's a lot of streamers that basically just stream their day-to-day life, and they vlog their day-to-day life, are getting increasingly popular. People just love people. I mean, when reality TV shows first started coming out, they really exploded onto the scene. It was more authentic, it was real, and people really loved realities TVs. But we're seeing the same phenomena occur on the internet with streaming. So this is actually something that's really interesting. So content creators, very exciting future for us. So the more that we can learn about artificial intelligence and utilize its power, the better. There was a lot of developments in terms of chips. So Meta, sorry, no, this is not on chips. So Meta AI comes to WhatsApp, Instagram, and Facebook. So just very simply, so the chatbot now is on WhatsApp, Instagram, and Facebook. So it's really starting to get integrated across a lot of different social media platforms, which is very, very good. Obviously, at the moment, you've got everything on. You actually have to go to the individual websites or add a plugin onto your browser. But now it's actually starting to get integrated into a lot of social media apps. So here we go. This is the chips. So Meta unveils its newest custom AI chips as it races to catch up with the rest of the market. So obviously NVIDIA has really led the market, and all the big tech companies have really started to try and put their foot in the door to try and get a stake in this market, because it's going to be the biggest market in the future. So they're developing their AI chips, which can only be very bullish for the whole industry. I really like this one because this is something that I see happening a lot in the future. So eBay adds an AI-powered shop the look feature to its iOS app. So this for me is, okay, so obviously this here is more of like you basically can put different kinds of items on the person. So it's essentially like a video game. The way that I imagine something like this happening more in the future is it's really going to turn the whole real estate industry on its head. And shopping in particular, at the moment, you have lots of big shopping centers around the world. So people will go to those shopping centers, try on clothes. Does this fit? Do I like? What's my style? And it ends up taking quite a bit of time. And sometimes we can be quite time poor. Also, if you go to eBay, it's like it's a bit tricky. Or when you go to a clothes place, it's like, oh, is this extra large actually going to fit on me? The way that I foresee the future is there's going to be some kind of body scanning device. You're going to be able to upload your shape, your body, which can be updated with as you grow or get bigger or thinner or whatever it is. And it will be like a template for your body that you can actually upload into places like eBay, and then it will be your body that you see with the clothes, because it's all good and well seeing how this fit works, but sometimes it doesn't actually work with the color of your hair, your skin complexion, the shape of your face. Everybody's got their own style. You know what your style is, but it's really, really cool to think of a future where it's basically just coming from a World of Warcraft background, an RPG background, where I played a lot of those games where you're basically, excuse me, you're upgrading your character, you're decking out your character, you're trying to make it look cool, you're getting the best looking armor, changing the colors, how do you want it to look? It's going to become like that with your own physical shape, which I think is very, very cool, because it's going to diminish this concept that this body is actually this permanent thing that's actually me, because it's actually really not. It's just like a video game. And the more that I can perceive this self as like a character, which is exactly what it is in the mind, the better it is going to be for my own personal development as well. So even from a mindset perspective, I think this is going to really start to break down the barriers of how people perceive themselves as a being, because this being is not actually who I am. The universe is actually who I am. So all these little developments will really start to open up that avenue. So I think that's very, very exciting. So, okay. So humanoid robot learns tasks in 24 hours. So Sanctuary AI has revealed a 7th generation robot that has vastly improved human capabilities. And you can see here as well, it's becoming more and more anthropomorphic. So we have all the different fingers, the different limbs. It's getting closer and closer to representing a human body, so anthropomorphic body. And the more that it represents an anthropomorphic body, in my opinion, the more capable it is going to be in performing human-like tasks. We have a lot of robots with kind of maybe things like this where they can perform certain tasks. But if you want something like a maid or a butler or something around your house that's actually doing all these menial tasks for you, the more humanoid it is, the better. There's going to be particular robots, I imagine, which are specific for certain tasks. But the more humanoid it can be, the more potential it has, in my opinion. So, okay. So that's very cool. So we're starting to continuously see developments in AI. This is very cool. So this is something. So this is Humane's $699 AI pin. And so the AI pin is the first of what Humane hopes will be a long line of devices aimed at harnessing the power and popularity of generative AI platforms such as OpenAI's ChatGPT and Google Gemini. The system relies on a number of different LLM-based systems, harnessing what it believes to be the best platform for each individual job. And a few months ago, I think it was, I'll link it up here, but there was the Rabby or the Rabbit. And the little Rabbit device, awesome little device. So basically a device that's specific for AI. And the whole intention of something like this is to try and get us away from our devices, away from our phones, and having a specific device that's actually can be utilized for the purposes of artificial intelligence. So the AI pin is the first, here we go, of what will almost certainly be a long line of products riding the generative AI boom. Back at CES in January, Rabbit turned heads with its R1 handheld. The following month at MWBC, Brain.ai showed off its vision of a handset that uses generative AI as a core of its novel operating system. The field is already proving to be a diverse one amid broader smartphone sales struggles. So it's really looking to compete with the smartphone market. And I must admit, it's an interesting one because the way that you utilize this, I guess it's like a pocket. I've seen people have it on their chest here, and it's like, would I really have that? Would I really utilize something like this? A phone, you're always communicating with people with your phone. So the fact that you have this one device which you can actually do anything on, it's the most powerful device on the planet. You can create businesses, you can create entire businesses with just that mobile phone. Would I actually, well, what do you guys think? Me personally, would I get something like this? Probably not. I might get it just for the culture, just to see what it's all about. If I had tons of money, I'd get it just to experiment with it, just to see where it's going. But do I see myself utilizing something like this? Not really. Having said that, when the iPad first came out, I looked at it and said, well, why would anybody buy this? I mean, you've got a phone, you've got a laptop. Why would I need an iPad? Yet iPads are huge. So it fulfilled a market that's basically in the middle. So I think it could have that same potential with all these different AI devices where it fills a market that's in the middle of these major devices. So what do you guys think? Would you actually use something like this where you can actually have direct access to AI minus all the crap, minus all the distractions of your phone? Would you actually utilize something like this? I'd be very curious to see how people are actually considering this. Okay, this something very cool. So this is all of this sort of stuff. So gut health is super, it's so important, man. Like I'm very big into meditation and mindset, but it's really about the whole system, mind, body. You have to have all cylinders firing, and your gut health is like your second brain. So if your gut health is trash, then you'll have anxiety, you'll have depression, you have all sorts of negative conditions that's actually produced by poor gut health. And there's also studies that link it to diseases like autism, ADD, with poor gut health. So I think this is going to be something that's, for me, this is the frontier of, well, this is one of the major frontiers of health, is actually learning about gut health. And it will be the same as what's happening with like DNA testing. So you test your DNA and it will tell you what your heritage is and where your bloodline comes from. It'll be the same sort of thing with this. The more that actually gets inputted into this, the better. And then people can actually get diets that are specifically needed for what their body is or what they need or what they're lacking. Diet is so important. We eat so many processed foods, which are really no good for us. So, okay, Apple Vision Pro's Persona feature gets collaborative. So this is really cool. So now we're going like these three things is kind of heading towards a metaverse. So much like the headset, which they designed, Apple personas are very much a work in progress. The original version of the beta avatars were nightmarish. So a subsequent update has made them more palatable and truer to life. And Apple says it's continuing to work on the 3D capture. So that's pretty cool, man, that you can have these people around you like this. So again, if you've got some kind of goggles here and there's people here and you're moving things around and you can talk to your little AI here, that might actually be what your AI is. Who knows? That might be what your virtual assistant is. Something like this. It might not necessarily come straight away in like a robot form. It'll come in the form of something like this, where it's like a digital It's a digital form. So very, very cool. Apple's continuously on the forefront of that. Now, finally, we'll go into the investment. So with the investments, again, this is not financial advice, but what I'm going to be doing here is I'm just going to see some of the projects that I was looking at last month just to see where AI is actually moving. So I've actually taken these. So from last month, we actually have had more of a dip. So whether or not that was the bottom, I don't know. So this was Astro Peppy X. So this is just in the 1 month. So everything of all of these has continued to dip. And these are all cryptocurrencies. So because the cryptocurrency market is dropping, then everything else is going to drop. And Bitcoin has now started to recover again. It's going back towards the 60K mark. So we will see how this kind of plays out. As things go sideways in Bitcoin, this is where the altcoins run up. So anything that's not Bitcoin is considered an altcoin. So interesting to see that everything has essentially gone down. So if you were looking at buying these, you're getting better and better prices as the days go by. I mean, from here, I mean, so from last month when I would have recorded this, you've almost had like a 50% drop in some of these prices. So very, very good to see if you are actually buying into these. I mean, you've had these massive dips here. So from 33 down to, wow, okay, all right, down. So that went down to like less than $20, which is very, again, so that's like 50% drop. So this is Numeraire. Neuroni AI. Again, these have all dropped. So Neuroni AI, probably one of the more interesting ones in my opinion, because it's such small market cap of only 3.5 million. Again, this is now dropped even more. So now from the all-time high of whatever it was, $1.66 for the all-time high, you're now getting close to a 4x, from the bottom to the top. And the top, I mean, then you basically times 4. So basically your market cap would have been around the 13 to $15 million mark. So very good to see there. Also in terms of investments, so join the future of renewable energy. I'm always looking at these sorts of things. So things that are happening in space. So this is very cool. So they're basically designing these cells, these hydrogen cells, battery cells, which can actually be used in space and underwater. And in my opinion, this is something that I'm always keeping my eye on. Anything to do with space, anything to do with AI and metaverse, because in terms of massive frontiers, I think, you can't go past space. You've got Elon Musk continuously pushing the boundaries there. We've got, I mean, the planet is really pushing itself in terms of resources and population, and anything that helps us get out there is only going to be bullish in my opinion, because if you can start creating things in space and removing that from Earth, and actually if you could increase productivity in space as well by having things like this, man, I mean, yeah, it's really interesting to see the development of these kinds of things. So as time goes by, I'm going to be continuously keeping my eye on things like this. And the last one, Intel unveils latest AI chip as NVIDIA competition heats up. So again, in the world of investing, everything's coming after NVIDIA. So NVIDIA went crazy. So we had the Meta, we've got Intel now, like everyone's coming after the AI chips because it's a massive, massive industry. So I still think that there's potential there. But for me personally, I won't be getting any stocks. Whether or not it does well or not, I'm not too sure. But for me, again, cryptocurrency is the highest ROI for the shortest amount of time. And yes, it also comes with the risk. So that's why it's not financial advice. I'm just showing you what I'm doing. So with that, hope you enjoyed that. Hope you enjoyed that update. It was a very short update this month. Not a lot of like massive innovations. If and when there are massive innovations as they come through the month, I will do those videos as they come. So thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your month, and I will see you at the end of May.